My name is Claire Chang. On the day I left the postpartum recovery center, Sean came to pick me up with my favorite chestnut cake and a divorce agreement. His face showed no remorse. Jessica will be returning from abroad soon. So, I read the terms. The company goes to the husband while all other assets go to the wife and child. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Yet I furrowed my brows slightly, feigning distress. Sean, we built this company together through years of hard work. Are you really this eager to push me out? He handed me a pen. You know we started Joy Media to fulfill Jessica's dream. Everything except the company can be yours. I snatched the pen and signed without hesitation, terrified he might change his mind. Sean seemed surprised by my lack of emotional outburst. For years together. And you don't feel any attachment? I glanced at the baby in my arms and smiled. May you and Jessica have everlasting happiness. At the Civil Affairs office, pure joy radiated from Sean's face when our divorce finalized. I need to go home and pack my things, he said, avoiding my gaze. Of course, I replied calmly. You've changed, he observed. How so? I tilted my head. All sweetness. I thought you'd throw a tantrum? Beg you to stay? Use the baby as emotional blackmail? My laughter tinkled. Hurry home. Isn't Jessica's flight arriving tonight? Wouldn't want you to be late. By dusk, the nanny had soothed Jaden to sleep. Sean stared at our son with artificial concern. Have you decided on a name? I suppressed a scoff. His heart was already at the airport. Yet he played devoted father. Jaden. The one representing undivided devotion. Jaden Chang? But he's a Wilson. Read the agreement again. My smile stayed serene. Though you'll always be his father. When he's older, I won't stop you from visiting. For the first time, guilt flickered across his face. Thank you, Claire. I'll provide full child support. Unnecessary. My voice sharpened. We'll manage fine. Go chase your happiness. After Sean left, I blocked all contact and immediately listed our 3 properties at 5% below market rate. 2 sales funded a premium school district home in cash. The remainder sat in high-yield savings. Liquid capital for future ventures. 6 months later, an unknown number flashed on my phone. Claire? This is Jessica. Why would she call? Yes? Her voice trembled. Sean's in a car accident. Our blood types don't match, can you come donate? Absurd. They'd married the day after our divorce. Since when did I become their emergency blood bank? Miss Sue. We're strangers. Contact the hospital. But I just returned stateside. You're the only. Then you clearly don't understand our healthcare system. I hung up mid-whimper. Common blood types have ample reserves. Try the doctors. Sean and I met through arranged dating, a 26-year-old facing family pressure. He stood out among suitors, Ivy League educated. Impeccably mannered. Spine straight as a naval officer. How many relationships have you had? I'd asked during our first tea date. He blushed. Truthfully? You're my first. Seriously? His earnest pursuit began that afternoon, roses at my office. Handwritten poems. Violin serenades outside my apartment. The fairy tale collapsed when I discovered Jessica's existence 3 months into our marriage. Her name etched inside his college ring, now glinting on my finger. Sean wasn't lying to me. He just never told me about his first love who'd permanently occupied his heart. After our marriage, we co-founded Joy Media from scratch. In recent years, several young talents we'd signed began gaining recognition. When registering the business, I'd asked him for naming suggestions. Let's call it Joy Media. He blurted out without hesitation. It took me 3 years to discover the meaning behind that name. The night he came home wasted, his driver practically carried him upstairs. In our 3 years together, I'd never seen him this obliterated. He kept slurring. Jessica. I miss you so much. Jessica? My mind raced through countless terrible possibilities. He vomited repeatedly through the night as I cleaned up after him. At dawn, he stroked my tired face beside his bed. You've worked hard. Honey. I forced a smile. Who's Jessica? He jolted upright. After an eternity. He lit a cigarette. We grew up together. She moved abroad years ago. Nothing ever happened. Disappointment flooded my veins. The man I'd shared a bed with for 3 years suddenly felt like a stranger. Your annual business trips to London, were those to see her? His silence answered everything. We became roommates after that. Life's cruel joke? 2 months later. I tested positive. For the baby's sake. I considered reconciliation. At 5 months pregnant. I showed him the ultrasound. Sean's eyes lit up. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Do you even care? Of course. He lifted me joyfully. You and our child mean everything to me. Maybe he'd be a decent father. If not a good husband. He enrolled me in the best private hospital. Yet as my due date approached, his visits dwindled. The company needs me. He'd claim. During 18 hours of labor, he never appeared. His assistant hovered by my postpartum bed instead. Mr. Wilson's greeting an important client at the airport. She stammered. I knew every major client. None warranted missing his child's birth. 3 days later. Sean arrived with flowers. You've suffered. He murmured. Kissing my forehead before admiring our son. He looks just like me. Nausea overwhelmed me. Tears soaked the hospital sheets as I unleashed rehearsed sobs. I nearly died delivering your child. You claimed we mattered most. I let my face turn ashen for effect. If I'm in your way, I'll stop being Mrs. Wilson. Just pretend to love us when it counts. The performance drained me completely. Let guilt eat him alive. Sean frowned. His expression grave. I'm sorry. Claire. This is all my fault. I turned away to wipe my tears before forcing a smile. Don't apologize. You're my husband. Jaden's father. And the love of my life. The words made me nauseous. But they worked like magic on Sean. From that day, Sean started visiting our hospital room regularly. Playing the doting father. Yet every visit triggered my waterworks, dramatic recounts of our struggling startup years. Tearful declarations of undying love. I knew his patience would wear thin, making him compare me unfavorably to his precious first love. Each sob session brought his divorce proposal closer. What Sean didn't know. I'd hired a PI to track his every rendezvous with Jessica. For 40 consecutive days. I perfected my grieving wife act until he finally snapped. Enough. Claire. You're becoming insufferable. Look around this hospital. Do you see anyone else acting like such a shrew? He roared. Shrew? I bit back my anger. What do you want then? Divorce. I'll bring the papers tomorrow. He stormed out. Unaware I'd been waiting months for this. After all, his days were numbered. Present day. Jessica's call puzzled me. Why reach out 6 months post-divorce? I freshened my makeup and dialed Sean's assistant. Heard about the accident. Which hospital? 3rd General. Room 302. Should I announce your visit? The assistant asked. No need. I smirked. Entering to find Sean bandaged but otherwise intact. His eyes widened. Claire? Why? Jessica said you needed blood. His hopeful glance flickered out. I'm fine. Where's your sweetheart? Processing paperwork. I turned to leave. Wait. His voice cracked. Where are you living now? I want to see Jaden. I left without answering. Outside. Jessica materialized like some delicate ghost. Up close. Our resemblance chilled me, though Sean likely saw me as the copy. Claire. Her porcelain features trembled. Thank you for coming. I panicked being new here. I cut through her act. He's alive. We're done. Walking away. I savored the game's final move. My ex-husband's mistress had just delivered him to death's door herself. But Jessica suddenly darted in front of me, blocking my path. Claire. There's actually something I wanted to discuss. Could you spare a few minutes? I smirked internally. Of course Jessica had an agenda for summoning me here. What is it? I forced a polite smile. Well, when Sean divorced you, Didn't he leave you all the marital assets? His company's going through some financial difficulties now. You know Sean would never swallow his pride to ask himself. But could you help him? For Joy Media's sake, the company you both built. I nearly laughed at her audacity. So this vulture wanted to pick my bones clean after all. True. Sean had kept only Joy Media during the divorce while I retained our properties and liquid assets. To him, that golden goose of a company was worth infinitely more than mere real estate. Our division had been clear during marriage. He handled content licensing and film promotions while I managed talent and finances. Little did he realize maintaining that cash-hungry operation without liquid reserves would be like trying to fill a bottomless well. Now with Joy Media struggling, Sean couldn't possibly sustain Jessica's lavish lifestyle. No wonder she came begging. Adopting her own pitiful tone, I countered. You do remember I voluntarily surrendered the company we built together? What more could you possibly want from me? Jessica lowered her voice conspiratorially. Claire, Sean gave you multiple properties and over $20 million in cash. We're only asking for $1. $4 million, you can keep the rest for Jaden. I stared in disbelief. How could she say this with a straight face? Sighing dramatically, I countered. Jessica, during our IPO preparations, Joy Media was valued at nearly $300 million. What's my settlement compared to that? Leaning closer, I added. Weren't you the music theater graduate Sean founded this company for? I surrendered my 4 years' work without protest. Has something gone wrong with your dream? Jessica produced a slip of paper. Running a company costs money. As the mother of Sean's child, you should help. Her pre-printed bank account details confirmed this was pure extortion. Oh darling, I'd love to help, I lamented. But all my assets are in irrevocable trusts. Though, I brightened. I could lend you $50,000? Her eyes bulged. You're joking. Truly. I'm powerless here. When you needed blood donations, I came immediately. Didn't I? The mask slipped. Stop acting. Claire. Jessica snapped. Just admit you're selfish. Smiling serenely, I handed her a business card. This venture firm invested in Joy Media's early days. Perhaps they'll help again. As she eyed it suspiciously, I added. Get Sean a full medical checkup. He's looked peaky lately. Outside, I trashed her bank details and sanitized my hands. Hate her? Why bother? Her precious Sean would soon be 6 feet under anyway. With Jaden thriving under my mother and nanny's care, I refocused on rebuilding my career. Former protégés complained in our private chat. Joy Media's a disaster. That theater major Jessica calls all shots now. Production budgets got slashed, we're begging for endorsements. My skincare deal just got axed. We're sinking. Timed with their expiring 5-year contracts. I floated the idea, what if I start a new agency? The responses flooded in, yes. Take me. Been waiting forever. Clarity One Media was born. When our launch coincided with multiple high-profile departures from Joy Media, we trended for days. I was reviewing artist contracts in my newly rented office when an unknown number flashed on my phone. I knew exactly who it was. After letting it ring 3 times, I answered to hear Jessica's shrill voice, Claire, did you have to go this far? Not only did you refuse to help Sean and me, but you're poaching our talent? What are you talking about? I countered. Stop playing dumb. That bogus investment firm you recommended was clearly a setup, demanding equity shares right off the bat? You think I'm stupid? She kept ranting and cursing. Now you've stolen all our artists. I never imagined you'd sink this low. Can't believe Sean ever loved someone like you. I replied calmly. Ms. Sue. Perhaps Sean never mentioned that I personally recruited and nurtured every one of those artists through years of effort. You know how fleeting careers are in this industry, they can't afford delays. From what I hear, Joy Media's financial situation isn't exactly stable these days. Her voice rose sharply, only because Sean gave you everything in the divorce. I chuckled. He chose true love. Remember? Such noble devotion that he abandoned his wife and child. He reaped what he sowed. We have nothing left to discuss, certainly not with you. I hung up. Calculating the timeline. I wondered about Sean's health. Clearly Jessica hadn't scheduled his medical checkup like I'd warned. I next saw Sean at an annual film industry summit. Jessica clung to his arm. Her slight baby bump visible. When Sean attempted to wave at me, Jessica yanked his hand down. He looked alarmingly pale with bluish lips, physically present but hollowed out like a scarecrow. During the break, I intercepted him at the refreshment table. Have you gotten checked out? You look exhausted. Is that why you came over? He asked. Perplexed. Just take care of yourself. The company can wait. Sean studied me. It's just work stress. How's Jaden? Before I could respond, Jessica materialized behind us. Nostalgic reunion? Jess. Claire and I haven't spoken in ages. Sean said hastily. The words echoed his old refrain, Jessica and I aren't what you think. Noticing my glance at her stomach, Jessica preened, my child will grow up with both parents, unlike some fatherless kids. Sean tugged her sleeve. Enough. I pitied her naivety. If she kept ignoring Sean's condition, her baby might never know its father. Who'd be more pitiful then? The truth traced back to our company physical 8 months prior. While I discovered my pregnancy, Sean's report showed advanced lung cancer. Frantic. I'd searched for him while pregnant, only for a private investigator to send photos of him laughing over candlelit dinner with Jessica. A radiant joy he'd never shown me. For 4 years, I'd been living as a substitute for his first love. I left his medical report with corporate filings in his study. Texting, your documents are on the desk. He never opened them. Too consumed by Jessica to notice the time bomb in his chest. Now racing against winter's approach. Sean's window for treatment was closing. As Clarity One Media flourished under my leadership, I assumed we'd moved past this chapter, until Jessica appeared at my office door weeks later. Impeccably dressed in Chanel tweed but red-eyed. He's dying. She wailed dramatically, collapsing to the floor. My baby will never know his father. I helped her to the sofa. Why are you here? Through theatrical sobs. She pleaded, the doctors say, maybe months left. We're going to Switzerland, his favorite place. Joy Media, it should be yours. You and Sean built it together. Entrust it to me? I eyed her skeptically. Not returning from Switzerland? Her tears flowed anew. How could I manage alone with a child? I almost laughed. The woman who'd flaunted her complete family now sought to dump responsibilities on me. Yet beneath the performance, genuine panic flickered. She'd finally read the medical report. Sean's time had run out. Jessica's desperate charade only confirmed what I'd long known. Some people never grow up until reality slaps them. Now holding both our fates, I pondered whether to let karma take its course or intervene. The answer came easily, I'd protect what truly mattered. Jaden would never question his mother's strength. As for Jessica? Let Switzerland teach her about consequences. I won't be coming back after this. I looked at Jessica. What do you mean by not coming back? Jessica slowly pulled out several stapled A4 pages from her bag. Claire. Since your new company Clarity One Media is thriving, why not take over Joy Media? I've had our lawyers draft this contract transferring ownership at cost. I just need enough funds to relocate to Switzerland. Any lingering sympathy I felt instantly evaporated. She wanted to dump this toxic asset on me. Did she think I was born yesterday? Still, business is business. If the price was right. I took the documents and flipped through them. $50 million? I double-checked the figure. For Joy Media's current assets and industry reputation, even $5 million would make me hesitate. $50 million seems ambitious. I gave her a polite smile. Sensing negotiation room, Jessica scooted closer. But Claire, you said yourself other firms valued Joy Media at $200 to $300 million. This is practically a steal. A steal? Joy Media's artists were has-beens. Their projects mired in payment disputes. Did she expect me to pay $50 million for liabilities? Did my 20 years in entertainment mean nothing? This scam might work on Sean. But not me. Rising from the couch, I said, Ms. Sue, I'm afraid I can't help. Her lips tightened. What about $40 million? I wouldn't take it for $4 million. Jessica's eyes widened. How can you watch the company you built crumble? I gave you both the company and Sean. Didn't I? My smile chilled. Please leave before I call security. Her composure shattered. Claire. You money-grubbing snake. You dumped this sinking ship on Sean and skipped town with the cash. Me? Skipped town? Sean initiated the divorce settlement. She knew exactly what she was taking. Was it your idea for Sean to claim the company in the divorce? I stared coldly. So what? Jessica shouted. Blame that idiot Sean. If he hadn't bragged about the company being worth $500 million, would I have flown back from London? Pathetic social climber. She staggered mid-rant. Sean stood behind her, hollow-eyed and gaunt. Jessica whirled around. Sean? How long have you? Long enough. His voice rasped. After a heavy pause, he murmured, Let's stop embarrassing ourselves. That was the last I saw of either. Months later, my office phone displayed Joy Media's familiar number. Hello? Silence. Then, Claire, it's me. I know. Long exhale. I'm sorry. For what? The past held no power over me. Jessica, she terminated the pregnancy. Returned to England. She won't bother you again. Why call? Sean? His voice cracked. I just wanted to apologize. I could have been a good husband, father, doing work I loved. But I threw it all away. I'm dying. Claire. During chemo. I kept remembering you staying up with me during deadlines, nursing me through fevers. I cut him off. What's the point now? Could I see you and Jaden one last time? A sob escaped. I miss. Unnecessary. The click echoed finality. If there's nothing else, I need to hang up now. There's a meeting soon. With that, I ended the call. My heart ached as if gripped by an invisible hand. Sean and I had shared beautiful memories. But I couldn't bear being merely a replacement for his first love in the heart of someone I cherished. So I decided to stop loving him. To give him back to his first love. After Sean's death, he left me a letter along with the remaining $5 million from liquidating Joy Media. I never opened that letter. Instead, I donated the entire $5 million to establish a charitable foundation in his name through a non-profit organization. This, I believe, was the most dignified legacy I could preserve for him.